Yeah. Government's back, man. That is so good. I'm so excited for the government back. I'm really not, actually.
Yeah, the country was about to go down the toilet without those guys, man. It was like we were on the precipice of not existing.
Do you want to know what would happen if government just slowly disappeared? We'd eventually go, oh, we've got to figure this out. Oh, I guess we'll have to figure out how to pay the air traffic controllers and everything else will continue. And we'll have to figure out how to do this. And I guess we'll, another government would come to be. That's what would happen. That's what would happen. And they would slowly disappear. They came back because they realized, dude, if we stay any longer, they really don't miss us.
Yeah, and we're all itching. I mean, I've never gone this long without spending somebody else's money.
I know. My goodness me. Do you know what it's like to spend time with your constituents? I spent time with mine. They're awful. But the big news, it was funny. Nobody cared yesterday. All they cared about was what? Epstein. Speaking of Epstein. That's my band. That's our first single. It's called The Epstein Files. I'm the lead singer of the band. We're called Deranged Monkeys.
Have you already posted that on your socials?
I'm going to.
When you do, it would be a great idea, I think, to do like a lyric video so people can actually read the lyrics.
That's a great idea. And I'm going to put together with I was trying to do some like stop motion animation earlier with my band, the Deranged Monkeys. Bell's also in the band. He's the drummer. He's in the back. He's really good. You can hear it. Listen to him. He's pretty awesome.
Hair's just whipping.
Oh, everywhere, right? Ken playing the bass. Ken's got the bass all the way down to his socks, too, which is awesome. So we're really rocking it right there. Deranged Monkeys. That's the Epstein Files right there. Kind of like the X-Files, but for perverts. The truth is out there.
And we're not going to let you see it.
Ever. We're not ever going to let you see it. I got asked this yesterday by a lot of people. Some of you text my other show. Some of you hit me up on, what if Trump was, it's simple. If Trump knew, I think we know now Trump knew stuff was going on. I think it's pretty fair to say that there was that, I'm not going there 100%. And I've maintained the entire time, I don't think Trump did anything. Now, in these emails, it sure alludes that Trump did some stuff and that he has some stuff on him. And if that is true, and he did do some stuff, then I think Trump should pay the consequences. I think he should resign immediately. And there should be consequences. Isn't it the whole thing, right? Like, the whole thing I heard from the right was, we're about responsibility, we're about kids, we're about taking care of the kids, we're about all of these things that we care about. Unless, of course, it gets in the way of our $2 gas.
I think, people always ask if he was in there, why didn't the Biden administration release the files? I think that there's plenty of bad news to go around for both of these parties. Oh, yeah. And that if once Biden was out of office and Trump got reelected, I think the Democrats now are willing to make sacrifices in terms of donors and party members if they can use it to get Trump.
Yeah. And you guys got to think about, there's two things here. First one, I had a long conversation. I did a segment with another station in a different country about this. And I said, look, one of the things that hurts this message and narrative, first of all, that shouldn't be, because these were young girls. If think about your wife or your mom or your daughter or your sister going through something like this. So just think about that for a second. But I'll tell you, the Russia narrative, if there was never a Russia, this story would be, first of all, it's a huge story. But there would be a lot more calls from even Republicans, I think. But because of the narrative, because of the way they've always gone about the lies, the BS, everybody comes at it like, kind of thing, which is understandable. And you should come at everything with a skeptical eye, especially in today's world with AI. That being said, Biden and them didn't care about it because they didn't care about it. They thought it was a right-wing conspiracy that, like was it the ping pong pizza, whatever the hell that thing was, where they thought they had a pizza store with, kids getting molested down there. The other side of this is the Democrats. You know what? They don't care about Clinton anymore. Hillary's gone. She lost him that. Bill doesn't play a role in anything. They don't care about any of those people. Throw them out is the way they're looking at it. They're willing to go hard in their mind at this. My question is, where are the Republicans? Why are you letting the pressure of the White House on you? If this was any other scenario, right? Flip the script. If this was Bill Clinton back in the day, but with the kids, not just somebody who was barely legal, but still legal, right? Remember how hard they went? So it's a fair question to ask. And yes, if you were a party to it, I think every one of you listening would go, yeah, you got to get rid of him. If it was, you would have to. But it's the way that you've gone about trying to, first of all, sell us. For how long did they sell this? Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Trump himself, J.D. Vance. We could go on with it's the Epstein files, release the list, get it out there, get all that stuff out there. Pam Bondi, useless, comes out with her little folders. Remember that? We could have phase 2 next time. But they're like, no, there's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Well, there's obviously something to see here. And I'm looking around going, who's got the cojones outside of Massey and a few other female Republicans?
Give credit to Lauren Boebert to walk into the White House, the center of power, the free world, really, and to sustain that and to come back out and to be solid, and also to Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene. There was all the speculation that they might take their names off, and they never did. So it's not a hoax. It's not a moot point. It is a very serious thing. There are 1,000 victims, and there are survivors who have had a press conference with Ro Khanna and I, and that's what we're fighting for, justice for them.
And that's Thomas Massey. And I love that. Because I would want justice. And the thing is, when these things came out, how would you interpret these? If you're honest with yourself, there's a lot of issues here. Trump has, and Bell and I were talking about this before the show. Lies, man, you got to remember lies. You know what you don't have to remember? The truth. Why? Because it's just the truth. It's easy to tell. It went from, I kicked him out after I knew, I've never talked to him again, to hold on a second, we've emailed back and forth, to even some of you right now who've text, you're like, some of the stuff he said is very creepy. It is. And Trump doing everything he can to make sure. He put so much pressure on Boebert, called her into the White House. Basically, we're taking you to the basement, sort of waterboarding her. She wouldn't bend.
And he has put such a Streisand effect on these files.
Absolutely.
The more he calls it, says it doesn't matter and it's not a big deal or it was a hoax or whatever, the more he says they don't need to be released, the more people want to see them.
Yeah. Because when you go and hide stuff, if your wife was texting somebody, your husband, and you knew something was going on, you're not quite sure, and they wouldn't give you the phone, but you were curious, and you knew something, in your mind you thought something was up, would you not think, okay, something's gone on here? Would you not think that? Right? Of course you would. You would think, oh my God, what's happened here? It's the same thing. It is. And the difference is now imagine you going around because maybe some of your friends know that there's some stuff out there that could hurt you and you're threatening your friends now.
And it could be as simple as the fact that he didn't do anything wrong, But just like the Democrats very plausibly could have been doing, he's protecting donors.
Well, that's a
Why didn't they put the files out when Biden was president? Maybe they were protecting their donors.
Protecting donors. Which, by the way, a lot of these donors, they give to both sides. They don't care. Red and blue means nothing. Green's the only thing they care about. So you got the likes of Larry Summers and all of these other people out there that we already know who some of them are. But we're really not interested anymore at the donor class. We're interested in is what did the government know? How long did they know it? And the fact that you protect and you go so far, because yesterday, Karen Levitt, when she came out, she didn't deny any of these things were real. What she said was, well, Virginia Giuffre, she never accused Trump of anything. She always said he was nice. Yeah, but you didn't deny that he was at his house after you said, and he said he's never even been over to his house. You're not denying the validity of these things now. And that's the issue. And the fact that in there, they also said, they said, look, he's not barking yet. And he said, I could ruin him. I'm the only one who could ruin him. So what does that mean? There are serious issues in this, because if you are a believer in, you want the justice, you don't want there to be that two-tiered justice system for the elites, right? Like that's the whole thing. That was one of the big things, I'm going to clean out the swamp. Sometimes it feels like you just became the hippo in the swamp, and it has nothing to do with his weight. But if you know anything about hippos, they're the kings of the rivers and the swamps in the bad areas. They will bite a crocodile in half. So yeah, I think it's fair to ask these questions. And I'll tell you, as a kid who went through this stuff, I've got no time for any of it. Nobody should. So, yeah, how could you support? But you have to have the proof. But if you're not going to allow any of this stuff to come out and you're going to fight tooth and nail and threaten, well, that says a lot to me that you're trying to protect. And if you're trying to protect big, powerful people that are still alive, what do you think they're doing now? I mean, my goodness. You think they're gone? They just gave it up? That's the other side of this, dude, that they're not talking about. So wait a minute. Let's just say you're trying to protect donors that were alive, and some of them still are. Do you think they just stopped doing this? Got away with one. No, we need to have serious conversation as Americans that have nothing. Take the politics out of it. Look at it as a human being. These women, and that's what they are now. They're girls when it happened to them. They're women now. They deserve to have their voices heard. They do. We should all want that. And the Republicans, and I'm seeing more and more are starting to echo what's going on. And what would happen, by the way, let's just give you why we're never going to get it, is because Trump's the ultimate decider. You would, honest to God, this is the only way this would ever all come out. There would have to be so much overwhelming evidence that, because this thing's going to already pass, it's going to end up in the Senate. Thune would have to have so much overwhelming evidence that the Republicans would have a veto-proof majority with the Democrats, that they go to Trump and say, dude, the stuff we have seen, this is not good, and we cannot, for the life of us, protect you. So you're going to have to figure something out from here, and we'll override your veto. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't. All right, coming up, we're bouncing from here to other things. A lot of good stuff. I still want to do the AI stuff. I got some good stuff. We're going to talk about AI. And, you just heard my song. By the way, we're not called the Ranger Monkeys. We're the Danger Monkeys. There's probably a band.
I thought it was the Demented Monkeys.
Oh, Demented. Was that? Yeah, that's because that's what they called those Reese's Monkeys, right? Something like Demented, Dangerous Monkeys or something.
Because they were eating Reese's Cups.
Yeah, as you do. I had one earlier with the Oreo one. Delicious. I offer one every day to Bell. I think I don't want to do that. You're going to ruin my diet.
Not a candy guy.
You're going to ruin my... I'm not either, but I like one, right?
If I'm going to eat something bad, I want a piece of fried chicken or a burrito.
Oh, God, a burrito. I could go...
And I'm still angry at you for those chicken fingers you brought in the other day.
You know what? I'll get some tonight, and we'll bring a whole bunch in for us tomorrow.
Can't get the smell out of my head.
That's the way it works here, kids. That's how we do it here. All right, coming up, more good stuff on the way. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk, 99.7. So... people are saying, Tim Burchett tried to. All Tim Burchett tried to do last night was a procedure basically to advance it out of committee, and he didn't have the power to do that, and they don't allow just everybody. Hey, a special. So it wasn't that the Democrats blocked him. They're going to vote on it next week. But even if he did, let's just say they did last night. They voted on it. What do you think happens? It has to go to the Senate because it is an actual law that they're going to sign in. I think it's called H.R. 4405, if I'm correct. So it would then have to go to the Senate, be voted on. If it ever gets to the Senate, do you think Thune is going to bring it up for a vote? Probably not. And then from there, if they did and they passed it, it would have to go to Trump, and Trump would have to sign it. And do you think he's going to do that? So the gamesmanship, and I heard Burchett, talk, well, we try to do this, that. It was not the way he makes it seem, like everybody, right? Everybody tells their side of the story. Nobody wants to hear the entire story because you're playing to I know what my audience is. My audience is this. I know the people I need to make sure that, this is it. So even if he would have, and God bless him for trying, but the reality is that there was a lot more to that than just he wanted to get it out and he blamed the Democrats. It was never going to happen. And let's be real, Grijalva wasn't sworn in because of this, and everybody knows it. And she let old Mike hear it yesterday. That's Mike Johnson, for those of you not keeping score.
It has been 50 days since the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District elected me to represent them. 50 days that over 800,000 Arizonans have been left without access to the basic services that every constituent deserves. This is an abuse of power. One individual should not be able to unilaterally obstruct the swearing in of a duly elected member of Congress for political reasons.
Yeah, and that's all that was. And it was because of this. I mean, he sent him home realistically because he didn't send him home because they were worried about it. No, she was going to be it. And the first person last night when she sworn in was Thomas Massey went over to her and he apologized. He was like, I'm sorry, my party was, ridiculous about this. So there's, people will say, well, they had this thing for years. Trump had this thing. By the way, let's not forget that. And people say, well, like Bill's pointed out, mutually assured destruction, neither party probably wanted it. But how the Democrats never once thought the Epstein thing was anything more than a hoax. It was some sort of right-wing conspiracy brought on by QAnon, right? It's a lot of what that is. Brought on by the QAnon folks. It's another one of those things that the right-wing ping pong pizza, whatever the hell it was called. Man, remember that when that guy wandered into?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the name of the place was too, because I can see the storefront in my head. And
I feel like there's a rocket ship in the store. I don't know what it was called. Come on, some of you have to know. But that whole thing, that's what they thought it was. They weren't paying attention. For years, they tried to get, what was his name? They tried to get a
Comet.
Comet, close. Ping pong, Comet, whatever.
Comet ping pong.
3-Eye Atlas, pizza. But they weren't looking because they didn't care if they didn't think it was real. Do you remember that movie that came out, Angel Pictures? Was it not last summer, summer before last, where, Jim Caviezel was going around and he was rescuing kids. A true story about that guy. Do you know how many people on the left thought that was a made-up story? And I'm sure some of it was made up because you put a lot of spin on that thing. That's the kind of stuff. They didn't think it was real. Plus, they also had people in there. They probably didn't think too much about it. But once you knew it could hurt the other side, of course you're going to go after it, unless it's mutually assured destruction. Then both sides step back and say, well, we don't want this. But I think the Democrats are at the point where they look at Trump as, first of all, this is just great to weaken them. And secondly, they look at this opportunity to not only do that, but they get rid of some of the people in the party they may not like, including some donors who hold big sway. All right, coming up, AI. It's all over the place. Voices, songs, what's it mean? It's very interesting what some celebrities are doing and other celebrities are doing. One side versus the other side. We're going to talk about that. We got some other stuff, healthcare. And next hour, we're going to do a deep dive into what they're doing in Denmark when it comes to immigration and the struggles they're having there comparatively to what the Brits are doing, which is pretty much just the wrong thing all the time. They're kind of like the Democrats. If you missed the show, shame on you. Grab the podcast. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk, 99.7. Sorry, I'm trying to write everybody back. Some people write quite a long stuff, which I appreciate. And remember,
how long does it take to write libtard?
No, well, not a lot. This one just basically talks about how much you and I suck. And it's funny. BK is Bell. CB is me. Okay, so if you're going to insult us, insult the right people at the right time. That's all we're saying.
Yes, please.
Good God. Ow! AI, it's everywhere, and it's not going anywhere. And how would you like to have Michael Caine as one of your people?
What makes a voice iconic?
This morning, some of Hollywood's most recognizable names lending their voices to AI.
My name is Michael Caine. I am thrilled to announce that my voice and I are joining 11 Labs.
On Tuesday, AI company 11 Labs announcing actor Michael Caine will be among the voices added to its iconic marketplace. A new service where anyone can pay to use a celebrity's AI-generated voice in content, from commercials to audiobooks.
Con mi permiso, 11 Labs trabajó conmigo para traducir mi voz.
Oh, that was Matthew McConaughey. No, we don't speak Spanish. I'll tell you what. All right.
Matthew McConaughey, an 11 Labs investor, says he's using the tech himself to create a bilingual version of his voice to connect with Spanish-speaking fans in his weekly newsletter.
Hablemos de traducciones.
His AI-generated voice is not for sale. In addition to Michael Caine, 11 Labs even featuring AI-generated voices of late stars like Judy Garland.
Sometimes the road looks long.
And John Wayne.
Don't talk about doing the right thing, partner. Just do it.
I think it signals that actors believe that AI is coming to Hollywood, whether they want it to or not.
It's too late. And also, I'll text my uncle and see if we can get him on the later today or tomorrow about his meetings in Hollywood, because he has meetings every day in Hollywood. And we were chatting the other day. In the room, especially if there's actors there, they're like, this could destroy, or writers, so this could destroy Hollywood. We don't know if we could do these kind of stuff. And the minute they're not there, they're like, all right, so tell us what you got. What's it going to cost? And this is really awesome. Because
I would like to see some of those contracts, though, because, if you're being licensed out for commercials and products and things like that, are you going to be the guy that, gets, put his voice on an alcohol ad or something? I mean, you got to have some kind of control over how they can use it.
Well, I'm sure it really kind of depends, on the estate. Obviously, is one thing, but it also depends on did you give up all of your rights? So, like when Queen or Kiss, when they sold all their stuff, including the future, it was for the future, so they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, but there could be constraints in the contracts that say you can't use it this way, or you're not allowed to advertise this product using our images.
Like if like John Wayne, like at a hemp store.
It's like the one example I can think of is Gene Simmons actually had a magazine called Tongue Magazine about 20 years ago, and one thing that when he joined the project and became the face and the brand was that they were not allowed to take cigarette advertising. He refused to let them take cigarette advertising because he said alcohol is a choice of taste. I don't like the taste of it, so I don't drink it. Cigarettes, I'll just kill you.
Yeah.
And so he put that limitation on it. So it makes me wonder, there's got to be some kind of guardrails for them.
I get where you're going on this, because you don't want Judy Garland selling adult toys.
Yeah.
No. I mean, again, she did team up with 3 strangers and killed, but still, what are you going to do? But Hollywood's worried. But as I said earlier, the ones who are going to get in front of this are going to win. Now, I saw today that, what's his name? Morgan Freeman's lawyers apparently are working nonstop, suing everybody they can because they're using his voice. Because you can clone it in a heartbeat. Where they're licensing it. And see, Michael Caine he's retired now. He's not acting anymore. And so I could see why he would do something like this. He probably took and here's the thing, get in early. And not only an early investor, but say, hey, you know what? I just want stock. Give me stock of what's going on here. And that's a big deal.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if that's the case. And then also there's a royalty percentage involved in it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you're not going to get like, because you can go and take on 11 Labs, you can just use Michael Caine's voice. So on anything, once you pay the fee and everything. So, and they haven't told, we haven't, I just went there to see today, because there's a bunch of other ones there too, that it could be your local, schmokel store, or it could be anything, and you could just use it, which is kind of interesting. It comes as part of the subscription. So I could use it for my local commercial. I could have got Michael Caine says Chad's all right, whatever it is that he'd say. But, or, Busy Bee. Michael Caine likes Busy Bee because he doesn't like crap. Which would be funny. That's a good one right there. Write that down, guys. Write that down. Continue, sirs.
Coming amid a string of controversies on the use of AI and its potential to replace real artists. A couple of months ago, there was instant backlash over the AI-generated actress Tilly Norwood. Actors like Emily Blunt calling it really, really scary. Her creator claiming Tilly was not a replacement for a human being, but a creative work. And last year, Scarlett Johansson calling out OpenAI, saying its new voice assistant sounded eerily similar to her own voice. OpenAI denying they modeled the assistant after Johansson.
It did sound close. It did. Because what it does is, you just pull these things out of the air. They make these things, and you can mess with them too to get them perfect. It's not an exact science in that sense where you're stealing, but you want to get it close because you want it to kind of sound like it. It kind of did sound like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's that one sounded a lot, and she did Hers. At that movie, she was the voice of the phone that fell in love with Joaquin Phoenix. I think that's what it was called. He fell in love with the voice on the phone. I think it was called Her, and so yeah, that's.
Well, that's got to be also a very difficult thing to sue over, because unlike a song, you can write a melody line down on a piece of paper and show a jury, this was their melody line, this was what we wrote first, look how similar they are. But you don't have that kind of transposition that you can do for a voice.
Yes, because people sound like each other. So you could say, well, I'm not. That's this person over here. I mean, how many singers sound exactly the same almost? A lot. So it's. And
not only that, if somebody's impersonating somebody else, I mean, how are you supposed to prove that's who they're impersonating? Well, it sounds like, I don't know, Sam Kinison to me.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It might be sound a little bit like him. I wasn't doing Sam Kinison.
Yeah.
So if that's the case with a what's the word?
Parody?
No, not with a parody. When they're impersonating somebody, then how do you make that not make that same claim with AI?
It's true. Because usually when you're impersonating somebody or trying to do something like that, the whole thing is it's fine if you're doing it as a parody and you're not making money off of it. But think about all the people that do, like Rich Little for years. He used everybody else's voices to make money.
Yeah, and you can make money off as long you can make money with it if it is a parody. Parody is completely allowed, but you can't represent it.
You can't represent it as if you're the person that is, that. And that's the political side of things too. I'm sure that's one of the things that they're going to stay as far away from. Politics. You can't use Michael Caine's voice in a political spot, or McConaughey's not using his. He's not doing that yet. But
that was the case where Falwell sued Hustler because they put a fake ad in the magazine about how what his favorite drink was and how he lost his virginity to his mother and all this. And he was like, you can't use my image like that. And they were like, well, it's parody. They can.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing.
And SCOTUS said that.
The SCOTUS. Who are those people? That's a different kind. That's an old kind of SCOTUS.
But as some real actors voice concerns, others are embracing AI and letting their voices be heard.
Because technology is just the medium. This is humanity. Amplified.
A source close to McConaughey says that he's just testing out the technology for now. Representatives from Michael Caine did not respond to our request for comment, but in a statement provided by 11 Labs to Variety, the veteran actor said it's not about replacing voices, it's about amplifying them.
Yeah, it's not about replacing. And if you could use it, see, if you're John Wayne's family, you could probably make a killing off this. You know, it's like Bob Marley. I mean, every year you go look at, like, whether it's Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Elvis, their states make so much money. Well, music and stuff, you can through the voice and the acting side of it. Now you're going to be able to do that through the licensing, which will be awesome. We're going to bring back Bruce Lee soon. Saw that. They're getting ready to do a movie. That'll be cool. What? Bruce was the man. Don't mess with Bruce, kids. Don't mess with Bruce.
Get a Green Hornet sequel.
What was it? It was called Green Hornet here, but over in Hong Kong it was called the Kato Show. Because he was...
That would make sense.
Yeah, because he was so popular, you know, and everybody loved him. The Kato Show. Woo. Several of you guys texting in, a lot of you still about the whole, what's their name, Epstein stuff. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Somebody said that, you know, the Michael Buffer. So you can't use the let's get ready to rumble like thing. They patented not his voice, but the saying.
Yeah, the phrase itself.
The phrase itself. So you can't use it, and they will sue.
And they have.
Repeatedly. Man. You have no idea. My when I worked for the oldie station in L.A., we had a guy, Brian Byrne, great guy. Mr. Rock and Roll was his name. Mr. Rock and Roll Brian Byrne. And he owned Mr. Rock and Roll. And any place, he always had 2 or 3 lawsuits going on because some middle of nowhere place in Podunk, Idaho, they had a guy called himself Mr. Rock and Roll, and man, Brian would sue him in a heartbeat. Right?
Well, it's like when Michael Jackson trademarked King of Pop, and then Howard Stern trademarked King of All Media.
Yeah. It's the trademark. That's just it. That's why you can't use, because somebody asked about that, because they do sue. The amount of money that Buffer and his brother have made off of that, I don't think people realize how much money Michael Buffer's made off the let's get ready to rumble thing. And do not mess with it, because they will come and get you. Come and get you. Still got some good stuff to talk about. We're talking a little bit about Venezuela, because could it come sooner rather than later? Looks like it might come sooner rather than later, because apparently Trump, are we going to get a Trump Bibi thing where every time Bibi had to go to court, somebody got blowed up, and now every time Epstein stuff comes up, some nation gets bombed?
The bombings happen closer and closer to shore till we finally hit one that's just in the docks.
So we're going to talk a bit about that. A bunch of other good stuff to get to. Reach out to us across all of our social media. We love hearing from all of you. The good, the bad. Got some more stuff about education, too. And it's interesting. There was a piece done last night about mass transit here, because that's always fun. And, you know, the whole WeGo, everybody's trying to figure out, well, you know, I think maybe it's not going to be as popular as we think. Duh. Again, the amount of money we spend on stuff thinking people want mass transit doesn't matter where you are in the country. There's a few places in the country when it comes to mass transit where it works. But for the most part, everybody lives outside and works inside. And they don't want to have a 3-hour trip to work before they work 8 hours. So they have a 3-hour trip home, taking 12 different buses.
Yeah, people use the New York subway because it's easier than driving your own damn car into town.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. And some people don't even have cars because you don't need to. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Apparently Trump has given the okay to start doing something in Venezuela. When? I do not know. But could it be coming soon? Yeah, I think so. I think they're probably figuring it out. They're weighing options, according to several. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens. So he's been presented with options. I don't think we should do anything. I think it's a waste of time. But we've moved all this stuff there. You're not going to not do something at this point in time. You're not there for an exercise. This isn't war games in the Caribbean. And this is all about regime change. That's it. We're not good at regime change. We're not good at regime change. We're great at the first bit, right? We get him out of there. It's the second part that we've had issues with. I mean, if you don't want to go back to Iraq, just look at Libya. So, yeah, this looks like it's happening. Now, I don't know. It's got to only be drones, I would assume, and maybe some missiles. You wouldn't think it would be anything other than that. You're not going to put any boots on the ground. I mean, putting boots on the ground at this point in time, first of all, a couple yesterday were like, oh, we'd walk through them easily. Don't think for a moment that you're just going to wander into their country and they're going to be welcome with their open arms. As much as, their military, here's the thing, the military is, they're semi-formidable and they've got some decent stuff, especially from the Russian and the Chinese that have given them. So it wouldn't be just a walk in the park. And occupying a country is extremely tough. Go see what's going on with Russia, how hard that is. Of a slog. Our stuff is better, but it's just about the regime change. That's what it is. And it sounds like it could be sooner rather than later. Secretary of State Rubio, who was meeting with foreign ministers, says no final decision has been made. Told CBS News and Newsweek, also reached out to them. But it definitely looks like something sooner rather than later is going to happen. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing? There's no reason. I don't give a rat's ass what happens in Venezuela. The Venezuelans deal with it. But they're sending people there. Well, we're sending them back. Okay, there's that. Well, there's no fentanyl. No fentanyl. All the fentanyl comes out of Mexico, goes from China to Mexico. So the cocaine, again, we have to address also the issue here about the war on drugs and how we've attacked that. We talked about that yesterday. We haven't attacked it the right way. We tried to fight the drug suppliers, but it doesn't, the question is why? Oil, that's a big reason. No doubt about that. But he's already offers us the oil, but I don't think anybody trusts him. And now that we're there, it looks like we're going to be going a little bit deeper. We shall see. Coming up, hour number 3 of the program. We got a podcast too. Check it out. Go check out our shorts. Go like and subscribe to YouTube. Check out our Rumble, our Twitch, our X, Facebook, and more. This is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 997.